Welcome to George Coll Fine Art. Here, the viewer is encouraged to get outside and paint from life. George's job is to provide the tools to solve the many technical challenges faced in rendering landscape paintings. View the library of landscape paintings offered and become a subscriber. You can also purchase tutorial videos, plus original tutorial and studio paintings. Thank you. And if you like what you see, click the subscribe button and join in on the fun.
Hello and welcome to a brand new series called Hila Trek. Hila is spelled G-I-L-A. It's the Hila River in southwest New Mexico, about 100 miles north of Old Mexico, and just a real remote place. And anyway, I did a backpacking trip, 3 nights, 4 days, and just had a wonderful time because there's just so much snow in the mountains up here in Colorado. I had to get down there and do that. Okay, so today was block in, and we go through step by step, figuring out these thin value colors that we'll build on top of tomorrow in part 2. So, get outside and paint. Paint with your friends. Get critiques and don't be intimidated by white canvas. Just keep painting. Okay, bye-bye. Hey, good morning and welcome to part 1 of Hila Trek. So this was a recent backpacking trip I took up the Hila River. The Hila, spelled G-I-L-A, is in southwest New Mexico, about 100 miles north of Mexico. So it's kind of a really remote place, and it's one of the first, or it is the first wilderness area, designated wilderness area in the United States. So homage to that. So I have my image on my screen here. I don't know if you can see it. I have a monitor to my right, and that's what I use, when I paint with you guys. It'd be best if I was out there doing it outside, but of course it's hard to carry all your equipment and do a video at the same time. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with part 1, which is block in. I've got my timer going for 30 minutes, and I've got 11 by 13 and a half, which is the exact same size that I have on my monitor, is a 10 by 13 and a half. All right, so I don't have to, expand or contract in my own brain and work that out. So let me get a scrubber of some sort and draw some lines as to where all these shapes should be. So I'm going to use some burnt sienna, ultra blue, touch of Portland gray, I guess. And what I see here is that there's a stream shape which is extremely important, which I'm going to choose. Where do you start with these jungle paintings? And I'm going to just start with some shapes. And I see that there's a bank that goes like this, and then a bank that goes over into here. Then there is a secondary, there's a bank, a pebble bank. And then here is a big dark in this area. Then we have big dark trees here. And then I have kind of gentle bushes here, more bushes here, and then a great big cliff coming down. Here, I think. And a shape going up like that. And have some trees here. I have another area back here that looks like another cliff back in there. But here are these shapes here. That are really unique to the Hila. Something like that. Close enough. All right. So I'm going to put my scrubber away. It's just an old worn out number 2 Rosemary 2025 long flat. And now I'm going to make some dark greens. I have some olive, some Viridian. I really need to get really dark. I got to get some blue in here. And I'm going to get some brown. Really, really dark green. And that is a beautiful color. So I was on a 4-day, 3-night backpacking trip solo, and I had a wonderful time. And I think this has to go dark down in here. And I did a backpacking trip because, well, there's no other way to get in there. And what a beautiful area. It's, in Colorado right now, and very late, it's Memorial Day weekend. And it's just too much snow up in the mountains right now. Too much. And I'm just looking for where I can find some darks. And as you can see, I'm keeping it pretty thin in some places too. This would be the undercolor to these trees here on the left. And I'm going to thin that down a little bit. Kind of spread it around a little bit. I want to go with just a few more darks in those trees, and this time I'm going to add some blue and some brown and some olive and get a few more darks in here. Brown, blue, olive. Get some Viridian in there too. Viridian. I'm going to thin this down and put it in the water, which is right in here. And I know there's ripples and there's all kinds of banks and things like that, but I'm just going to put in one value color for now. It's kind of an undercolor. And then I'm going to come back and remove some of the dark with my paper towel. And I do see more dark over on the left of that. I added just a touch of Viridian to add some emphasis of dark. Yeah, put some of that right in there and there also. Oh, that's too dark right in there. And I got a really nice dark patch up in here somewhere. All right, now time for some lighter green. So let's move these dark, thin stuff over here and clean my palette. Get a little bit more clean down with my paper towel. Okay. Now for a lighter mixture of green. So let's go with some yellow ochre and some yellow, cad yellow. And let's get some viridian. And some emerald. That emerald's a little too strong. I'm going to gray it down with some Portland gray. And that should do the trick right there. Cleaning my brush. And I'm going to look at my time. I've got 19 minutes and 55 seconds. Oh, I am so lucky. I'm just gooping up both sides of this, and here I am doing my thin washes here. Something comes up here, and there's some over here and here. Getting some more Gamsol in my mixture. I need some good light greens over here. And here. And I have a sprig or two right here. And then I need a little bit of darker right in here. Seems to be some darker. And just some hints of stuff up in there. I'm going to need a darker mixture to go over these basic darks I had here. Then we'll get out of the dark neighborhood. Oh, too much. I'm using some emerald here and some yellow ochre, and some orange, some yellow, yellow. And let's go in and put some of that on these areas here. I have some left. I'm going to use some with some darker stuff right down on here. Olive blue viridian. And some lighter green right in here. All right, time to get into the warmer colors and get out of these greens. All right, keep up the greens and clean the palette. Okay. I'm going to stick with the same brush, which is this number 4 long flat series 279. It's soft. It's a good mop. It picks up a lot of paint. You can spread it around. All right, so to go with some warms, we're going to go into this some of this Portland gray stuff. And if I can find it, it's called Gamblin Portland Warm Gray. Gamblin's got a new design to their paints. And I asked the sales clerk, I said, is it the same mixtures even though it's Gamblin? And she assured me it was. Okay, I'm going to go with some light. I'm going to put some brown in here and a lot of white. And I'm going to just use this as a base color and start with it and then add and subtract to it as I go from this warm to these warms over here. Okay? So let me go with these warmer. It's too white. Let me get into the stuff here. I shouldn't be putting so much paint on when I'm blocking in. So let me pick that up. I'm just trying to save time, and that's always trouble when I do that. So let's go back to our brush. And you have much more control, and need a soft edge up in here. And I need some of this, I think, same stuff over on this slopey area here. It's really kind of light down here. Really light. I need some of this to come all the way down to the water's edge. All right, I'm going to get back and make some judgment calls. So far, so good. Right, what I'm going to do is that there is a shadow, there's light coming in, real strong light on top, and some darker shadow stuff below it. So I'm going to make that demarcation line right there. And I need some more greens up here, so I'm gonna go over to my light greens and put them back in. As you can hear, Studio Cat is meowing, wanting attention. We got a new rescue poodle, a 1.5-year-old Tori from Torrington, and she is a real doll. And but Cinders is not too pleased having a new dog on the property. I put some of that green in the water. Oh, I don't know if that's going to work or not, but for now, that's good. Reflection stuff. Okay, we need some more of these lights right up in here. And here. And now we need to think about the big dark guy here. Now there's some cool in there, so I see some cobalt, which is a little too strong. Let me get this, take it down with some Portland. And there's kind of a dark area with some cobalt and some brown. And we're going to put them in right here. And there's another one right up in here. I'm going to add more cobalt to this. And lighten it up with just a little bit of light and some terp. And I'm going to get this in right in here. And kind of angles off right in here. I know there's some darks in there, but I want to go more to the brown. I see more of the brown on the right side of that mixture. And I see some cobalt in there too. But it's got some pretty dominant brown stuff. So let me make sure I'm getting that brown. I think this is it. It's my best shot yet. There's the difference right in there. Okay. That is good for now. Let me, all my electronic devices all right, telling me that there's things to do. But I still have plenty of time. 9 minutes, 33 seconds. I like this color combination. I'm getting back to appreciate it. Okay. Now I need to make the light and the dark in these warm colors here. So with the cool, I'm adding a little cobalt and warm Portland for the lower sections. Maybe a little lighter, a little lighter. And I'm working those in. And I'm going to put some over in here, coming through the trees. There's something back there that is saying there's light back there, and I'm going to put some on here too. All right. Now we're going to go to the warmer stuff, and I think go with our lightest mixture yet. Not as light as this, I think, but yeah, it's lighter. So more white, a little bit of gray, Portland. More white. And now we're going to put them in right in. Too much light. Take it down a little bit. Take it down. And that should be good enough for now. Now I know there's some darks in there, and if I have some time, I'll work on that in this session. Excuse me. But let's get some, what can I do here? Let me see. I want to get some, I'm just going to get some King's Blue. Royal Blue, kind of the same stuff depending on the company. And I'm just going to put in some idea of sky color. I'm going to change brushes because we're kind of going to a pretty radical change here. And I'm going to make some of this. Royal was so weak, depending on the company. You add some white to it, it just goes away. And here we go. But I'm getting the right feeling that there is sky back there. The weather I had was just tremendous. It was beautiful. It would get up in the low 80s during the day, but I was in shade because you're down this narrow river valley with cliffs on either side, and it was just so neat to be there. And of course I'm getting some contamination, but I'm trying to dilute it out as I go back to the mixture pile. And I'm not doing a very good job of it. But I still think it has a blue look to it. All right, now with these troubles over here with contamination, I'm going to go in with the brush I'm using, which is a number 6 long flat series 279 rosemary. And I'm just going to kind of dry it out a little bit. Get a little bit of terp in there. And go back to my green. Get some emerald in there. Some white. See how I'm kind of going into the darker color next to it to kind of see if when I get to the right value. And I'm gooping up both sides pretty well. And now I'm going to be a little darker stuff here. And I'm doing some canopy work here. Kind of in a fan motion to describe this canopy. It's not a very thick tree, there's not a lot of foliage. But for now, that's the best I can do. And I think that'll work for now. I want to go in and get some dark shadows in these fellas because I have 3 minutes left. Pressure's on, I'll tell you, tremendous. So I'm throwing some ultra into this Portland gray warm mixture. I'm still using this soft brush. Still has some green in it. Get a little bit more dark in it. Ultra blue. And gently describe some of the shadows here. And I think that might be sufficient for now, but I think this could help if I do this. And I'm going to put some of this really good dark as compared to bad dark. No. Take a good one right in here. And there's some right in here. All right. Whew. Let me see how much time I have, and I'll do a tree trunk or two. And then we'll get started on part 2 tomorrow. Today is Monday, and we'll get a fresh look at it tomorrow. I'm going to get some transparent, or burnt sienna, ultra, a little bit of red. And put a few darks running through here and here. There's a lot going on over here. I need to be a little thicker. And here. I don't know why I'm putting these in, because I'll probably cover them up tomorrow when I work on top of them, but at least it'll give me some idea of what's going on here. And with this soft brush, I'll go back to with some greens and break some of these up a little bit. It's not quite so strong. Okay, I think we're on the map. So, welcome to part one. I think we did a good job. We covered the whole canvas with value color and on top of our basic shapes. Okay, so let's bring this to an end. Oh, there's that darn dinger. Sorry. And bring it to a close. Thanks.